Hi guys and welcome back to the Mighty Blues. My name is of course Cameron and welcome back today to another live stream. We're here to talk about tonight's game in the Carabao Cup against Watford. It is the live game preview, of course. Like we said yesterday, I do apologise about it being on the day of the game. I was just a little bit busy, still celebrating my birthday yesterday, so I couldn't quite get two live streams out. Obviously, we've done the game review of the Brighton game last night, and we're going to do the game preview of the Watford game tonight. And listen, what is, probably a massive game for Marco Silva, a massive game for the players, but is it a massive game in the grand scheme of things for Everton Football Club? I'm not too sure. I think it's pretty much expected for us to go out there tonight and put in another really good performance and put in another performance that, is capable of beating any team. But again, it's another game at Goodison Park when we know we can turn up and we know we can, play teams like Watford off the park. It's really the away form that we need to be looking at, and that was so prominent in the game against Brighton on Saturday. And I think that's something that we're all going to be looking at coming in the next couple of weeks, especially the game against Tottenham Hotspur. But, nevertheless, we still have to play tonight, and it still is a big game. It's a game in the Carabao Cup. It's a competition that we should be looking to go as far as possible in. We should be looking to try and win as many games and obviously try and reach the latter stages of it. Marco Silva said this week that he would like to reach the final of the Carabao Cup, that he thinks he can reach the final of the Carabao Cup, and I think so would, most, if not 100% of Evertonians would want to get that far in the competition. And, whether it'll be Marco Silva or whether it'll be a different manager leading the line out, I think it's really important that we take games like tonight really seriously. I think Marco Silva's going to take the game very seriously. I know there's been a few people on Twitter and social media saying, well, maybe he'll play some of the youngsters because it's a cup competition. I don't think we're likely to see any of the youngsters today. I think this is a massive game for him as a manager. I think it's a massive game for the players, and I think it's a big opportunity for Marco Silva to go out and again try and put a strong team out and try and win a little bit back in the mind of Evertonians, because at the end of the day it was shocking, let's be honest. Last Saturday it was absolutely dreadful. The performance in itself, the result, and the complete capitulation towards the end of the game was absolutely embarrassing. So we need a big performance today, and I don't think Marco Silva's going to risk putting young players in there or under 23 players just for the sake of it being the Carabao Cup. I think this is going to be a game where we're going to see a real strong Everton side. I'm going to see an Everton side that Marco Silva thinks is more than good enough to go out there and win the game of football, and that's what we want to see. Listen, I don't think there'll be any Evertonian watching the game tonight or at the game tonight who's hoping something goes drastically wrong so we see Marco Silva get sacked. I think if we do lose tonight, I think he's on the edge, and I think if we were an Everton Football Club and we weren't so pissy-fitty about sacking managers, I think he'd probably be sacked tonight if he lost tonight's game. Again, you know what, Everton are like and what the board are like and how we like to go about things. So again, I still don't know whether that would be the case, but I think the majority of Evertonians, if not all Evertonians, would pretty much lose their patience with them and accept that it's probably time to go if we don't manage to get the win tonight. But even if we do manage to get the win tonight, like we said about the West Ham game last week, I think it's important that we enjoy it. I think it's important that we take it in, we accept it while it's there, but we also have in mind that, this isn't really the priority, or the priority isn't really the home form or the performances at home, because we're still going away from home against average sides like Brighton, against sides like Aston Villa, against sides like Crystal Palace, Bournemouth, and we literally cannot hold the ball up for more than 10 seconds, and we cannot control games of football. Then there's still massive issues with Marco Silva, and that's something that still needs to be massively worked on and obviously looked at by the board and looked at by the hierarchy of the football club. So in the grand scheme of things, this game does matter to Marco Silva, because if he loses this game, I think he's probably thinking he's going to lose his job. In terms of the fans, I think there's pretty much an expectation now for us to go out there and do absolutely anything. I think we know as a fan base we could go out there and win this game comfortably, and I think we know as a fan base we could go out there and get turned over, because we really don't know what to expect with Everton anymore. We really don't know what to expect. I think, we're all going in sort of a little bit of a deflated mood. Marco Silva has said that the mood in the dressing room is a little bit deflated. It's a little bit down after the result on Saturday, and that's understandably so. But it's his job as the manager to lift the mood in the dressing room, and it's our job as the fans to lift the mood in the stadium. But we're not going to do that unless we're seeing a better performance by the players on the pitch. Obviously, it's at Goodison Park, which is a clear advantage. It's in a Carabao Cup, and I think one of the only sort of positives at the minute from Marco Silva's reign so far this season is that we're still in the cup competitions, and is that we've been getting victories in the cups, and we've been performing to a decent level in the cup as well. So we put in another decent performance today, and we managed to to get through against Watford, and we're going into the last stages of the Carabao Cup. I think Marco Silva's job might be saved for another week or so, because we're still doing strong in the competition. And again, this is a competition that we all said at the start of the season we need to massively focus on. We cannot afford to just disregard it. We're not a club that can afford to disregard any competitive competition whatsoever. We haven't won a trophy in over 21 years, so any single competition that we should be playing in, we need to be taken very, very seriously, and we need to be going out there with the view to win. If we win tonight, it's absolutely fantastic, it's brilliant, but I still think we need to step back and we need to look at the real issues of the football club here. If you're not enjoying, by the way, please do hit that like button. It means a massive amount to me. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, as well. As usual with the game previews, we'll go through my predicted starting 11 in just a second. Let's dive into the live comments before we go into that. Evertonian TV says, we are very capable of reaching the final, no excuses. I don't know whether we are. Marco Silva's come out and said we want to reach the Carabao Cup final. He said he thinks the team is good enough. I don't know whether we are. I really don't know whether we are, because all we need is an away game. Against any team really, a Premier League team, a Championship team, any team, and I think we'll massively struggle. Jonathan says, hello Jonathan, hope you're doing well. Hernandez says, sad that it takes your job being on the line for Silva to put this team out that everybody's been shouting for since the beginning of the season. Again, this is just my predicted starting 11. It's not the actual starting 11, so Marco Silva could go with Dominic Calvert-Lewin, he could go with Morgan Schneiderlin, he could go with Fabian Delph. This is just my predicted starting 11 and a starting 11 that I would like to see. Hernandez also says, hope all is well, Cam. Yeah, I'm not doing too bad, mate. A little bit tired this morning, but we get over it. This afternoon even, I don't even know what time it is. Where are we in the live comments? David says, the final game of the season, Evertonian TV. Everton FC is the best, says quarterfinals. If we win this, happy birthday, mate, by the way. Thank you very much. And yeah, exactly, and we're then going into the latter stages, and when you start to reach the quarterfinals and you're in those rounds that have got the word final in them, and you look at it and you think, well, okay, if we win today against Watford and we manage to get a decent draw in the quarterfinals, we win that, we're in the semi-finals all of a sudden, we're in the last four of the competition, and we're really looking at a genuine threat to getting picking up the trophy. And I think if you said to Evertonians at the start of the season, would you take, a mid-table finish and a Carabao Cup win? I think, there would be a lot of Evertonians that would say yeah. There'd probably also be a lot of Evertonians that would say no as well. But I think it's massively important that we take these competitions seriously. And if we were to win one of these competitions, whether it be the Carabao Cup or the FA Cup, I think it would be absolutely fantastic for the team. I think it'd be absolutely fantastic for the club. Whether or not, there's any guarantee of that, obviously there's not. Personally, I think we'll massively struggle if we get an away fixture, and I think we've been quite lucky to get a couple of home fixtures, and even the away fixtures that we have had have been against sides that we couldn't have been beaten against, let's be honest, because we just had more quality than them. Football fan says, hi mate, happy birthday mate, thank you very much, I hope you're doing well. Craig says, probably win it as we're home, then it will be back to the same old shit for the next away game. Surely you can't stay based on home form. Exactly, and that's the big sort of question here. If we go out and we put in another fantastic performance today, exactly like we did against West Ham, and everybody says, oh, look at how well we can play, I think it's important that we say, well, it's important that we look at this and think, well, this is again another home fixture. If we can play like that away from home, then fair enough, but we're not playing like that away from home, so why aren't we playing like that away from home? John says, we need to win tonight. If we don't beat Watford tonight, Silva will probably be sacked. Fair enough, I think you're probably right. Dave says, I'm surprised our players even turn up for work with their mentality. Again, I agree, spot on. The real Cenk Tosin says, there'll be 3 big clubs in the quarters, and then Leicester and Wolves or Villa. Big opportunity if we get through, and then the draw goes our way. It is a big opportunity, but we need to get through this game first. Arteta when he says, hello mate, hope you're having a good day. I'm not doing too bad mate, hope you're doing well yourself. Really need to make it a doghouse tonight, full of shithouse and bastards who boo everything the other team do and throwing in tackles left, right and centre. Listen, I think talking about the opposition, we'll go into talking about Watford in just a minute, but they're going to be out there for, to get Marco Silva's head. They're going to thrive off the fact that Marco Silva's, his job might be on the line, the fact that he's not doing very well, the fact that he's struggling at the minute. They're going to eat off all of that. They're going to feed off all of that. There'll be chants, there'll be songs, there'll probably be rubber snakes, there'll probably be banners, there'll be all of that sort of stuff. So we know they're going to feed off this sort of mentality at the minute at the football club. So it's going to be a real tough game for us. It really is. David says, any manager can lose 14 away but win 14 at home and keep their job, Craig. Fair enough. Everton FC is the best. Flags are out today, aren't they? I'm not too sure. I think they are. I think I've read something about the originals having them out. I think they are. But I don't want to say for definite yet because, again, I'm not 100% sure. Real Cenk Tosin says, look at Poch. Spurs haven't won away since January despite that changing on Sunday, but he hasn't been sacked yet. there you go. Arteta when he says, yeah, I think so, mate. The originals have a big part to play in the atmosphere, but we need to help them. We do, spot on. David says, all 250 of their fans will be on us from the first whistle. John says, happy birthday, Cam. Thank you very much, John. And Jonathan says, Bernardo's a massive miss. He is, of course. And Everton FC is the best. Says, wow, I just realised, happy 1,000 subs, mate. Good content creator. You are. Keep it up, mate. Thank you very much. Really, really do appreciate that. And Evertonian TV says, atmosphere is always massive at Goodison Park. It is, and it's a massive advantage for us. And I think it's something that, you know, we need to create tonight, and we need to make sure that it is a real tough environment for Watford Football Club, and it's a tough environment for their players, it's a tough environment for their fans. But at the end of the day, the players on the pitch need to give us something in return, because we can't, you know, it's very much an even relationship. The relationship between players and fans, they need to show us that they're performing to the best of their ability, that they're giving 110%, and we'll back them with the atmosphere, and vice versa. We need to back them with the atmosphere, and they'll come and they'll show that they're giving us 110%. But when we're seeing such lackadaisical performances away from home, such performances that lack energy, lack intensity, lack pace, lack real, you know, any sort of passion, any sort of power, it's really, really tough to get behind that, because the absolute bare minimum that those players should be putting in, week out, is effort for the fans, is 110% of heart and 110% of effort. Nothing less than that is acceptable whatsoever. And if the players aren't doing that, then there's a serious issue for me, whether it's in the dressing room, whether it's with the players themselves, whether it's with the club. There's a serious issue if the players can't go out there and put 110% in. Arteta when he says, it is, mate, I agree, but we definitely need it to be better than it has been so far to get us through. I do agree. If you're enjoying the team, by the way, please do hit the like button. It means a massive amount to me. Once again, a big thanks to everybody for getting involved. Get your comments in the live comments, and we'll talk about them throughout the stream. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new as well. Just hit 1,070 subscribers last night, so big thanks for that. Really do appreciate that. Let's get the stream tweeted out so everybody can join us. Obviously, the game is later on today. Once again, I do apologise about that. Usually I'd try and do the game preview a couple of days before, you know, at the very latest the day before. But like I said, obviously it's been a little bit manic since the game on Saturday, having my 21st birthday and celebrations, etc. So I do apologise about that. It is a little bit late, obviously, but at least we can sit down and talk about it now. It's fresh in our minds, because we've got to big ourselves up for it later on today, haven't we, really? Because whether we like it or not, it's happening, and we're playing tonight, and, you know, we need to put in a real decent performance. So without further ado, let's dive into my predicted starting 11 anyway. I suppose we'll stop the talking now. So I've gone for Jordan Pickford in goal. Now, I know Jordan Pickford was massively at fault for the first goal on Saturday against Brighton. He could have done much better. I think the free kick was hit towards him, and I think, you know, he should have done a lot better to make an effort to save it. It went sort of through him, it felt, and that was massively disappointing. But again, I just don't think Jonas Lascelles had enough time. I don't think Jonas Lascelles had enough experience in the Everton team yet, and I think Marco Silva obviously is in this state of mind now where he knows 100% he cannot afford to put players in that haven't got the experience, put players in that might necessarily have the fitness, because he needs this team to go out and put in a 110% performance. Yes, Jordan Pickford let us down last weekend, but how many times has Jordan Pickford saved us? How many times has Jordan Pickford put in really good performances? So Jordan Pickford in goal for me, Luca Dean at left back, Mason Orgate and Michael Keane at right back, at centre back, sorry, Jabril Sidibe at right back. I don't think Jabril Sidibe was actually that bad the other night. Don't get me wrong, he didn't blow anybody's skate up, he wasn't overly fantastic, but I don't think he was too bad, and I think overall his performances this season have been better than Seamus Coleman's performances. So Jabril Sidibe stays in there. The rest of them are pretty self-explanatory. I wouldn't mind seeing Leighton Baines in there, but again, with the fitness issues again, bringing in a player that's not played at all this season, I don't think Marco Silva's going to do that, considering how much is riding on this game of football for him as a manager. And obviously, listen, the two centre-backs pretty much picked themselves. Michael Keane, I think, was really poor last Saturday, and I don't think Mason Allgate done himself any favours either. But Yerry Mina's still out injured, and we've got nobody else, basically, and he's not going to play one of the youngsters. He's really not. Lewis Gibson ain't going to feature in the starting 11, and neither's Morgan Feeney. So those two, obviously, are the centre-backs. Sorry, a little bit of a dry throat. Going into the centre of the midfield, I've gone for a 4-4-2 formation, really, or a 4-2-2-2, or a 4-2-4, whatever you want to call it. But I've gone for Andre Gomez and Tom Davies in the centre of midfield. Now, I don't think either Andre Gomez or Tom Davies were particularly fantastic the other night. Obviously, Andre Gomez giving away the stupid free kick that led to Brighton's first goal, which was massively disappointing for me. You know, I really think the Everton players need to start realising now that we cannot defend set pieces, and that our biggest weakness is set pieces. So we need to stop giving stupid free kicks away on the edge of the box and giving the opposition stupid opportunities to put the ball in the back of the net. Nevertheless, I think them two should continue the place in the centre of the midfield. I think they're still very attacking. I think they're still very positive, and I think they're very forward thinking. Whereas you're putting a Morgan Schneider in this game, you're putting a Fabian Delph in this game, you're pretty much setting your stall out straight away to be a little bit negative, to be a little bit backwards thinking, sideways passing, and that's not what we need. We really, really need Marco Silva's team to go out there and put in a performance that makes us, excited and makes us go, you know what, we could get 4, 5 or 6 here today, exactly like it was against West Ham United. And I think, the best midfield two to do that will be Andre Gomes and Tom Davies. So again, I've gone for pretty much a 4-2-4, I'd say it is. On the wings, I've gone for Alex Iwobi on the left and Richarlison on the right. Obviously, Richarlison keeping his place in the team. I don't think he's done particularly awfully against Brighton. Obviously, he got in with the header for the first goal. It wasn't classed as his goal, it was an own goal, but he still got his his head on it, and he still aimed it towards goal. I personally think it was his goal, but whatever. And I've gone for Alex Iwobi on the left. Bernard obviously is injured and will be injured for quite some time, between 4 to 12 weeks, it's rumoured. So obviously Bernard's out the team now, and Alex Iwobi will probably take that natural position on the left. Now, the reason I've not gone for a number 10 is obviously because Alex Iwobi is more than likely going to move over to the left. I just think we need a little something different in this game. I think we need to change it a little bit. I think Watford will be very, very, very certain on us playing a team with Gylfi Sigurdsson in the 10, playing a team with 2 defensive midfielders and 1 centre attacking midfielder. And I think, it'd be massively, it would be in Marco Silva's best interest to change this team a little bit. It'd be in Marco Silva's best interest to go, you know what, let's switch it up a little bit. Let's do something that Watford aren't expecting. Let's do something that nobody's expecting, to change it up a little bit and to give us more of an advantage. So I've gone for, obviously, Richarlison on the right, Alex Iwobi on the left, and 2 up front. I've gone for Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Moise Kean. Now, I said in the instant match reaction, I said in the game review of the Brighton game, I think it's unfair for us to criticise Dominic Calvert-Lewin because Moise Kean isn't getting game time. Now, don't get me wrong, we all want to see Moise Kean. I want to see Moise Kean. You want to see Moise Kean. We all want to see Moise Kean in this starting 11. We all want to see Moise Kean playing consistently, because the only way he's going to get better, the only way he's going to settle into this team, is if he's playing games of football. However, obviously there's something that he's not doing right on the training pitch. He hasn't massively impressed when he started in the start 11. Yes, he's had some decent little performances. Yes, he's had some decent little spells, but obviously he's yet to get his first goal. Obviously he's yet to make his real mark on the team and on the Premier League. Obviously when Dominic Calvert-Lewin's come in at times this season, I think he's played really, really well. Obviously he scored 4 in his last 5. A really, really good goal against Brighton at the weekend. A decent finish against decent striker's finish against Manchester City as well. So for me, I don't see why we can't play them both up there. I've been saying for weeks and weeks now, and obviously it's quite clear that Marco Silva doesn't listen to me, and nobody in the club listens to me. Not that I think they would anyway, but I've been saying for weeks and weeks and weeks now, I think Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Moise Kean could massively benefit each other if they both played up front at the same time. I think it's pretty much ridiculous basing our whole game on one striker, and the only real 2 strikers that we've got is a kid that's still learning his trade, a kid that's still trying to improve in Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and a young lad who's just come over from a different country, who's very new to the whole culture of not only Everton Football Club, but the country in itself, the culture of the Premier League, the way of playing, the system, the style, etc. I think it's massively unfair to put our whole hopes and dreams on one of those players. I think the best opportunity was to play them both together, see what they can do together, see if they can form a partnership, and obviously it'll benefit them both. Then you've got Dominic Calvert-Lewin to win the balls in the air and bring it down and hold it up well, and you've got Moise Kean who can run off it and really threaten the opposition defence. Because I think if Watford are looking at Dominic Calvert-Lewin running at them, they're probably not as scared. They're probably thinking, well, okay, if he gets in the right place at the right time, he can put the ball in the back of the net. But we know what he's going to bring. We know he's not likely to take 3 or 4 of us on. Whereas if you've got Moise Kean coming towards you, there's that sort of element of not knowing, there's that element of surprise as to what he can bring, and I think that could really shake it up and make Watford's defence a little bit uneasy. So that's my predicted starting 11. Let me know your thoughts on it in the comment section down below. Don't get me wrong, listen, it's probably not the predicted starting 11 Marco Silva's going to go for. I fully expect to see Gylfi Sigurdsson in the team. I fully expect to see 2 central defensive midfielders and a number 10 and 1 up front. I don't expect him to change the formation whatsoever. He hasn't changed it so far. Even when times have been really tough, he hasn't changed it, so why would he change it now? But this is the team that I'd like to see. Hopefully it's a similar team that we do see. Let me know your thoughts on it in the comment section down below. If you agree with it, let me know why. If you disagree with it, leave your predicted starting 11s in there, of course. David says, Big Bill needs to give us all a $5 for a pint. So does the coaching staff and the players. Then we can all get pissed and stop caring for a few hours. David says, add Bet Keane on the bench and Gylfi starts. I wouldn't be surprised, mate. David says, another must-win game, win the cup and finish 8th. I'd take that, but I think that's a long way off. Craig 90 says, hope you're doing good, Cam, mate. I'm not doing too bad, mate. Hope you're doing well yourself. David says, minimum requirement, David. I agree. Where are we? Wayne says, I wouldn't even bother trying to guess the cup teams. Can never get them right. All lad, just strive and work. Tut. Watch out for these Liverpool fans. They'll be phoning your boss. Hope you're good. Yeah, my boss knows I'm off anyway. Don't worry about it. I'm not doing too bad as well, Wayne, mate. I hope you're doing well yourself. Wayne also says, looking forward to the game tonight. Gives me something to do on a Tuesday night. You have a good birthday. Yeah, I did. I had a decent birthday, mate, to be honest with you. It was really good. I had a good few days of going out with friends, with the girlfriend, with family. I'm really enjoying myself, so it was really nice. Thanks for asking. And the real Chink Dalton says, I just hope Everton don't make me feel like shit tonight. Don't we all, mate? Don't we all? But there's no guarantee of that. There's no guarantee of that. David says, pulling up at half-time, guys. And Arteta, when he says, would love to see Gordon take part, to be honest. I think if we were in a little bit of a different situation, Anthony Gordon would be in contention of at least being on the bench for this game. However, I just think there's too much riding on it for Marco Silva. I think his job massively rides on it, and I don't think he's going to put any of the under-23s in there, because I think if they let him down, if they're not quite ready, if they haven't quite got the experience, I think it's going to fall massively on Marco Silva's shoulder. So I don't think he'll take that risk. And LCFC here, boy, waves. Hello, mate. Hope you're doing well yourself. So anyway, a little bit about Watford. Obviously, what we know, we've beat them already this season at Goodison Park, 1-0. Tight game, but a game that I think we pretty much had the better of the play, pretty much had the better of the ball, had the more opportunities. Again, defended really well in. It was one of those games at the start of the season that Michael Keane and Yerry Mina were absolutely fantastic in, really solid. Anything that come towards them, they headed out. Obviously, we got the goal and we won the game 1-0. Again, a game that, okay, the scoreline probably didn't quite reflect the game. It's probably more of a 2 or 3-0 game, but still only won by 1-0. Watford are a team that we know like to come to Goodison Park and like to throw the old wind-up card. They have a go at Richarlison, they have a go at Marco Silva. You're getting sacked in the morning. Chance will start tonight, undoubtedly, and you'll hear all of that from Watford fans tonight, and it'll be a really sour atmosphere from the away support, and it will be an atmosphere that they're out to get Marco Silva as well. So I think it's massively important that Marco Silva gets every single part of the play right today, including the starting 11, including the tactics, including everything, because I think as soon as one thing goes wrong in this game, not only will you have the entirety of Goodison Park, the Evertonians, that'll be groaning and moaning and jumping on Marco Silva's back, but you'll also have the away support who'll be giving that little bit of an extra, extra go on them as well, because obviously of the history that they have. So I think it's massively important that not only do we go out there and do this for ourselves, but we also shut the Watford fans up as well, because they'll be on their IOs thinking that Marco Silva could get sacked after this game. Listen, whether he should be the manager or not, that's out for question. Whether he should be sacked or not, that's out for question. I don't really think today's game has an awful lot to do with anything of that nature, because again, it's the away form that we're massively struggling in, and if we win today by 4 or 5 or 6 goals to nil, I still won't be massively convinced about Marco Silva, because I haven't seen those performances away from home. If we win by 1 or 2-0, I'll be happy, don't get me wrong, because we'll be going further in the competition. We're heading towards the quarterfinals, and I think we just need to take it game by game now, and we just need to, look at the games for what they are and what's on the surface. And at the minute, what's on the line is a quarterfinal spot in the Carabao Cup, and an opportunity for us to go forward, an opportunity for us to, put in a decent cut run for the first time in a few years. Yes, okay, there's massive issues, but I think we need to address them when we come to playing our next away game against Spurs next week. But we have to just take tonight for what it is. It's a Carabao Cup game, it's a game at Goodison Park, it's a game under the floodlights, it's a game that I dare say the fans will be all up for, the players need to be up for, and the manager needs to be up for as well. LCFC boy says, good, thanks mate, how are you doing? I'm not too bad, mate, glad you're doing well yourself. Wayne says, think the Bernard injury will give Gordon his chance now, hope he takes it because Walker is shite. Maybe, I just don't think he'll feature tonight. Wayne says, could be the number 10 to replace Sig. Could be. Arteta says Watford won't bring many fans. In my opinion, they couldn't sell out at 3 PM, so can't see that out. And yeah, they mightn't, but the fans that they will bring will definitely be on Marco Silva's back. Wayne says, wouldn't mind seeing Keane with Charles up front. Think he could help him. Yeah, I'd 100% like to see that as well. David says Watford is shite, beating Everton. I'm looking forward to the rant videos because I can see them coming. Wayne says, we've got this, and Wales City Boy says, we've got Burton tonight. Well, that's an easy win for you guys. You guys are absolutely on fire at the minute, aren't you? Absolutely on fire. Anyway, that's going to do it for today's team. Please do hit the like button if you have enjoyed. A little bit of a short one today, but it is the game preview, of course, ahead of tonight's game. So I hope you all have enjoyed. Big thanks to everybody for getting involved in the live comments as per usual. If you're watching this on YouTube before the game, leave your comments in the comment section down below. Get them all in before the game tonight. And let's hope that at the very least we can go out there and put in a really good performance. And let's hope we can win, regardless of Marco Silva, regardless of whether he'll be the manager, regardless of whether he should be sacked, regardless of whether he should, continue on after this game, whether we win or lose. This is a game in a cup competition, and I think, whether it's Marco Silva leading us into the Carabao Cup final or whether it's another manager, I think us as Evertonians massively need a cup final and massively need the cup success. So I think it would be fantastic for us to get the win tonight and again take us closer to that that dream and that glory. So anyway, big thanks to everybody for watching. Hopefully it's a positive one tonight. Hopefully it's a victory. Like I said, don't forget to join me a little bit later tonight for the instant match reaction. Straight after the game, I'll be giving my instant reaction and my instant thoughts to the result. Big thanks to everybody. Please do hit the like button if you have enjoyed, and subscribe to the channel if you're new as well. The support has been unbelievable recently, so big thanks to everybody for that. David says, what headaches, Wayne? Lee B says, I really don't agree on blaming JP for their first goal. The ball didn't go through his hands, it was smacked so almost freakishly fast and hard, and that was it before Pickford was even set. Fair enough, that's your opinion. Fair enough, absolutely fair enough. It was really hard, I'll give you that. Hernandez says, how upset will you be if Schneiderlin's in the squad? It'll just be a negative outlet, and I think Marco Silva won't be doing himself any favours by doing that, but, if he wants to set his own stall out, if he wants to open the door for himself to walk out, then that's him. Levy says, Snyder, no. Wayne says, catch you later, have a good one. Thank you very much, Wayne, hope you have a good one too. David says, it did, Lee. Those seagulls are well known for stealing. Big thanks to everybody for watching. Please do hit the like button if you have enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel as well if you're new. Big game tonight. Massive game for Marco Silva. Massive game for Everton as well. Like I said, don't forget to join us for the instant match reaction straight after the game. Please hit the like button if you have enjoyed. Leave your comments in the comment section down below. And I'll see you soon on the Mighty Blues.